Today's message is not going to motivate you, it just explains why you keep getting demotivated. When you hear someone say, "I would like to give up," our cultural reflex is to offer a platitude. We tell them to keep going. But psychologically, that is like telling a man drowning in a storm to just swim harder, without explaining why his lungs are filling with water. To understand the urge to quit, we have to look at our archetype, Timmy, and the invisible biological and psychological machinery that governs his every move. Why Timmy clings to the couch. Imagine Timmy is 30 years old. He has a dream of becoming a writer, but he spends his evenings scrolling through social media or watching reruns of a show he's seen 10 times. He feels a heavy, leaden exhaustion. He looks at his blank laptop screen and thinks, "I just want to give up on this." Is Timmy lazy? Timmy is experiencing homeostasis. Biologically, Timmy's brain is a survival machine, not a self-actualization machine. Evolution doesn't care if Timmy is a best-selling author. It only cares if Timmy survives until tomorrow. To his primitive brain, the comfort zone isn't a place of laziness, it's a high-probability survival zone. When Timmy tries to do something new, something hard, something that risks rejection, his amygdala perceives that psychological risk as a literal physical threat. His brain calculates the metabolic cost of growth and decides it's too expensive. Giving up feels like relief because, in that moment, Timmy is telling his nervous system, "The threat is gone. We are safe in our cave." One of the greatest causes of failure in the Timmy archetype is the fear of the unknown. Psychologically, Timmy would often prefer a known hell over an unknown heaven. Let's look at Timmy in a toxic workplace. He hates his boss, the pay is mediocre, and the stress is giving him migraines. Yet, every time he thinks about applying for a new job, he freezes. He says, "I'd like to give up on the idea of moving." This is because Timmy has developed cognitive familiarity with his current suffering. He knows exactly how his boss will yell. He knows exactly how tired he will feel at 5 p.m. This predictability provides a twisted sense of security. The unknown heaven of a new job represents a landscape where he doesn't know the rules. He might fail in a new way, and to Timmy's psyche, a new failure is infinitely more terrifying than a familiar misery. Psychological fact: we are more likely to choose a certain negative outcome over an uncertain positive one. This is why Timmy stays in the cage. At least he knows where the bars are. The anatomy of failure, the gap, and dopamine depletion. Why does Timmy fail most of the time? It isn't usually a lack of talent. It is the expectation-reality gap. When Timmy starts a project, his brain releases a surge of dopamine, the neurochemical of anticipation. He imagines the finished book, the applause, the success. But 3 weeks in, he is in the middle forest. The dopamine has dried up because the reward is no longer new. Now, Timmy is left with the raw metabolic cost of the work. This is where most people fail. They mistake the loss of excitement for a loss of purpose. Timmy thinks, "Since I don't feel inspired anymore, I must not be meant for this." He gives up because he doesn't understand that the boredom phase is a biological requirement for skill acquisition. The sunk cost fallacy and the identity trap. Timmy also fails because of his identity attachment. If Timmy has spent 10 years being the reliable accountant, trying to become the creative artist creates cognitive dissonance. Every time he picks up a pen, a voice in his head, his internal ego guard, whispers, "This isn't who you are. You're a numbers guy. Stop pretending." Failure is often a subconscious autocorrect by the brain to bring Timmy back in line with his old identity. He fails because his self-image acts as a thermostat. As soon as he gets too successful or too different, his psyche kicks in the cooling fans of self-sabotage to bring him back to his standard temperature. The give-up instinct as a protective shield. We must also address the strength of weakness. Sometimes, Timmy wants to give up because he is using his failure as a shield. Think about this. If Timmy tries his absolute hardest and fails, it means he wasn't good enough. That is an existential wound. But if Timmy gives up before he really tries, he can tell himself a comforting lie. "I didn't actually fail, I just stopped trying. If I had really put my mind to it, I could have done it." Giving up is a defense mechanism against the pain of true failure. By quitting, Timmy preserves the illusion of his own potential. He remains a diamond in the rough in his own mind, rather than a polished stone that might have a few cracks. So, what do we do with Timmy? How do we address the "I want to give up" moment without being motivational? We must teach Timmy to practice meta-awareness. He needs to sit with that feeling of wanting to quit and realize it isn't a command, it's a data point. It's his body saying, "I am tired and I am afraid of the unknown." Instead of fighting the feeling, Timmy should acknowledge it. There is my homeostasis trying to keep me in the cave. There is my amygdala trying to save me from a paper tiger. The strongest humans aren't those who don't want to give up. They are the ones who feel the massive, gravitational pull of the comfort zone and choose to take one step away from it anyway, not because they are motivated, but because they have decided that their curiosity is slightly larger than their fear. Timmy doesn't need a pep talk. He needs a map of his own mind. He needs to realize that the desire to give up is the final gatekeeper. On the other side of that leaden feeling is the only version of himself that is actually alive.